Well, right. So I guess it's time to go.
Thank you, David.
All right, well, it's 6:30. Time to start our regular school board meeting for October 11th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't see a flag. I have a flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and
and
justice
justice
for
for
all.
all. Fortunately, I have a flag right there. Okay, well, I guess we don't have any delegations, do we?
No, Dale, I do have an addition though to the consent agenda, if you don't mind, under new hires.
Okay,
I'd like to add in, let me make sure I get the name spelled correctly. Mr. Tim Craven. Last name is capital C-R-A-V-E-N.
okay,
And we are recommending him for hire as our new head girls basketball coach.
okay,
We could have put it off until the next agenda. However, as you all know, with head coaches, that then puts into motion assistant coaches. So we feel like we need to get a jump on that, even given the late time of the notice.
does anybody else have any question on that or concern? Okay. Well, the agenda looks pretty straightforward. Let me just say, I appreciate everybody going with Zoom because I wasn't in any condition to visit a meeting, and so this seems like a good way to a retro meeting.
Yep.
So I guess I'd entertain a motion for the proposed consent agenda.
I'll move to accept the proposed consent agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Did you say aye, Julie?
Yes, I.
Oh, I probably trumped you. Okay, so that passes with unanimous. Good thing there's three of us, huh?
Yes, yes.
So do we have any public comments?
Raising Benny.
Any emails, comments, or?
Nothing that I'm aware of. I think Mona said no.
Okay. Wow, I lost my Zoom.
We still see you.
Sick of the 40-minute time limit? Why did it do that? Okay. Then board comments. Anything from the board?
I just want to say how much I appreciate the updates to our website. I think it's looking a lot more professional. I really appreciate everyone who has been putting work into that and all the communication that's been going out, how much more easily it is to access things. So just want to say thank you for that.
Agreed.
Did we change the website sponsor or anything, or is it just a reorganization?
No, I would say it was more, and David could speak to this in much better technical terms than I could. It really was kind of a reboot, to use that old term from the 1980s. One of the primary things that that I asked David and Molly to work on was simply usability from the standpoint, if I'm an average user, I'm an average parent, and I don't know the ins and outs of our website, where could I go that looks like it, where it should be, to make things a lot more natural and kind of self-explanatory. So I think they did a good job with that, and I'm in agreement. It's easier to find, and I know that the buildings have been working hard to make sure that things are kept up on their end. So all around, I think it's a more useful tool, and I think that's really what you have to look at a website as. It's just another tool, and you don't want to hide things on a website. You want to make them front, center, and easy to find.
I noticed that the directories, the staff directories were updated, so that was that's a good thing. Some of the people that had been on there for a while that weren't still here anymore.
Yep.
Okay, well, any other board comments, Teddy?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, we'll move on to principals report, and Chris Hansen is first.
Hi there. Just have a few things to share. I'm not sure why my camera is not working, but wait, maybe I have to push start video. I forgot how to do Zoom already. So anyway, so just wanted to talk a little bit about Friday was our professional development day, and it was a great day. Spent the morning with Jennifer Cowgill working on kind of understanding our English language development requirements, state requirements, and then working on some strategies that will help our bilingual migrant students through that. But happily, we're figuring out that these strategies are great for all kids learning. So we're going to continue working with her, as I know you guys have heard, and I think it's going to be really worthwhile. The afternoon then was about Character Strong and the implementation of the elementary section of that, which is the purposeful people. And it was also really a great training. The guy was really engaging and funny and was in person, so that was nice. And talks a lot about building relationships with kids and making our climate feel a strong sense of belonging. And so it was great, and we were excited. Good use of our time, I think, on Friday. We're hard at work. We, as in not always me right there, but we, as in the team, are hard at work building our core RTI intervention schedule right now. So Lisa Stady and Kim Cruz have been just powering through testing kids and figuring out, where the most needs are. And so we're ready to implement that toward the end of the week. Joni Ashley's helping gather all the data. And so we're getting it all organized and excited to be implementing that later this week, helping those kids one-to-one. And our transitional kindergarten program is up and running now. We have 13 in one class and 12 in the other, and they're still kind of coming in. So it's been fun to watch Judy and Jennifer really, and the para Virginia Nagel, power through helping those kids learn the business of school. So it's going well. And I think, like I said, I think the word's getting out. And so we're just kind of getting the kindergarten part of the enrollment kind of has slowed down, but the TK is kind of picking up. So we'll see. We kind of try to cap it at about 18 is what the OSPI suggests. So that's probably what we'll look at. But I think that's all I have for now. Does anyone have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Chris, I was just going to add, just make sure and tell your mother happy 80th birthday from all of us.
I will. Today is her birthday. So yep, I will. I'll tell her. I might scooch out of here kind of quick. So
Understood.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Henry's up next.
Oh, he's in Hawaii.
Oh, what a lovely place to be, except for
Wouldn't it
that
be?
earthquake. So,
There we
Am
go.
I talking? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so first of all, I'm glad to be back at school. As you guys know, I was out for 10 days with the vid, and it was not a fun time. But I'm back. I'm glad to be back. As with the elementary, we had training last week, ALD and Character Strong. We'll be starting the Character Strong on October 20th, because this Wednesday we have to start with our healthy youth survey for all the grade levels and so forth. I sent you, hopefully if Mona got it out to you guys, and you guys should have gotten my call and email home. So we have homecoming this week. We're still going to be testing everybody. We're looking at temperatures now. Is it too cold to have it outside and have it inside? They got to wear a mask. They're still looking at going outside from 9 to 11. So hopefully that all works out. One of the things, I don't know if we've talked a whole lot about this year, but last year we started co-teaching in the 9th grade English classes, bringing in our student support specialists or SPED teachers in to help our paras and so forth. We've amped that up to 9th and 10th grade. And so that's pretty exciting for us to be doing co-teaching with all of our students in one classroom and getting the information to all the different levels. And within that, we're using Achieve 3000, which if you don't know what Achieve 3000 is you take a story and it literally will break it down on where the kids test in at their reading levels and give them the appropriate level and get the basis of the story. If it's a really young, that they're really low, say a 5th grade reader, and it ramps it all up. So a kid who's reading at 12th grade could get a 2-page story. A kid who's reading at a 4th grade level might get a half a page to a page story that they have to read. But the information is there. The main information is there for everybody to have a good conversation about. And so we're using that. We will have, as you guys know, a financial aid night that's coming up this week. Football game tonight at Royal. Picture takes tomorrow. We got games this week with volleyball. We have volleyball on Tuesday home. So if you have a chance to come up and support the girls, that'd be great. That's 5:30, 6:30. And the girls soccer team is at 4 o'clock. And so on Thursday is a drop-in financial aid workshop from 3 to 7. Then we have volleyball at Royal, soccer at Royal, cross country at Walluk. Friday, we have a home game. That'll be our homecoming game. We'll be giving out the information, king and queen, prince and princess, and all that kind of stuff at the halftime of the game. And then Saturday, we'll be having the dance. There will be no reason for us to cancel the dance at this point in time because we've done everything we can to get as many kids involved and into the dance. That was the whole idea of postponing it if we could. And so I would just want to make sure it's an all or none. We're going to get this in, and whoever tests positive, they're just not going to be able to attend. Okay. Saturday, there is a home volleyball tournament from 10 to 4 in cross country, which I think is pretty cool. They're going to Moses Lake, but they're actually running the Gorge Amphitheater where they have the concerts out there. So it's going to be a great place for the kids
Awesome.
to run. I think that's a great thing that they're doing. And then of course the homecoming dance will be from 9 to 11 o'clock at night. We did that on purpose. We actually, if you guys looked at the previous one, I think it was 6 to 8. We put it at 9 to 11 so the girls could get done with their volleyball. And so I have a sophomore girl and I'm still getting used to all that girls got to do for a dance. And so, thank goodness we have good leadership ladies who said, no. We can't have it from 6 to 8. We have to move this. So Lance and I obviously listen to who we need to listen to. And so anyway, that's what's going on in the high school. Like I said, my biggest thing is I am so flipping happy to be back. It's like amazing to be back in the building with kids and all that. Is there any questions?
I have a question, Clay. Did you get any heaters?
We're looking at getting heaters. We're trying to find, so if you have heaters you can donate for us to put out there, we'd be more than happy. But I know that the leadership ladies have been told that there are some people who have some, so they're trying to make those phone calls and get those in. So yeah, that would be nice. We've actually talked also just making sure we're checking the weather for if it's going to rain or anything like that. Right now it says no, but you know as well as I do, something can happen and so forth, or if the wind starts kicking up.
Yeah.
But we do have that we can move everything into the commons if we have to. Okay. Any other questions?
Just so I make sure and keep Mr. Beckley's blood pressure where it should be, I'll make a call to risk management to make sure we have everything we needed as far as placement of any outdoor heaters and space around them and such.
Yeah.
We don't need our new tennis court, the nets going up in flames or anything.
No, we're actually doing it at the end of the weight room. There's
Okay.
that big place out there. We moved it because that was too far away. No access to electricity, no access to anything like that. If kids got cold, we can actually bring them inside if they went for a little bit. The biggest thing we're looking at is if we might need some kind of a cover on top of it. But as of right now, like I said, we're going day by day, trying to figure out what we need and how we can get this thing done so that the kids can have some sense of normalcy. That's the biggest thing for me, is normalcy.
Is that why that basket or that area is wrapped with plastic, the fence?
Yes.
Oh, I
With
wondered. I walked by.
Tarps out there. And that was why it was done. And yeah,
Okay.
we're going to bring the music, and we have our own system that we have in school that we're going to use. But like I said, if it looks like it's just going to be too cold, then sorry kids, but we're going to come inside, you're going to wear a mask. That's
Right.
the best we can do. But we prefer to try to keep it outside, and so do they, you know.
Sure.
Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Awesome possum. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Okay, up next, Mr. Fath.
Good evening. Just a little short agenda, kind of get you caught up on where we are. Testing wise, we're working through all of our MAP testing, so all of our grades should have, at least by the end of this week, been tested in MAP and made up their MAP test, those that missed it. We're also this week doing the Healthy Youth Survey. We send information home about that. And just so you know, the Healthy Youth Survey is completely voluntary. Students and their parents may opt out, or they may choose not to answer any of the questions. It is also not identifiable. So, you know, there's nothing that comes back to the kid. It's just a survey that the state has us do for, it helps with grants and other things, that information. And then starting the week after, we'll be doing the Smarter Balanced Assessment. And that test we were supposed to take in the spring that was put off, we'll be going at it within the next week and a half. So those are kind of the testing things you may hear about. So on a kind of some more fun stuff, we too, like with the high school, got trained with Character Strong again, or reinvigorated with it. We've been actually using that in our cave lessons throughout the year already, but it's always good to get a little more training. One thing that's been part of our cave is the Fun Friday assemblies and the competitions. I know that if you've been around, we've talked about some of those things. We are actually doing those, but our assemblies are out in the bus parking lot, which is a little bit of a challenge. But again, one of the things the kids have said is, boy, you know, we missed that. That was, you know, involvement and fun. And so we've been doing it in the parking lot, and it's been all right. It really has. Little bit different. We're a couple different iterations on the sound portion of it, but we've got it all solved for now. And then later this month, we'll be planning for student-led conferences. We will be back to the student-led conferences with the students' advisor and their parents talking about their school successes as we do conferences. So that's where we're going related to CAVE. As far as athletics, we are in the middle, almost heading towards the end of the fall season. We've got 2 football teams, 3 volleyball teams, and some kids doing cross country with the high school. So a lot of positive things going that way. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is student recognition. One of the things that, again, we really missed with the COVID and the hybrid and all of that was chances to do student we didn't do student recognition very well last year. I'll just say it that way. And we're doing our Caught Being Awesome, which is students that get recognized by their teachers and other staff people for good stuff. For I'll put into well, it's not a hat, it's a jar. And, there's a weekly winner and some pretty cool prizes that come out of that. This Wednesday, we will be having an all-in party. And it's during school, but the all-in party recognizes all students that had all of their work turned in, which is very cool. I should have brought you an exact number, but it's in the neighborhood between 20 and 30, closer to 30 kids that will be having some snacks. We'll be just celebrating their success and getting all their work turned in. And I spent the morning calling parents of those kids. And, it's very nice for the parents to hear, hey, everything's going great at school. Your kid has all their work turned in. Congratulations. And so I was honored to do that, and it was pretty good. And of course, once we get through the quarter, we'll be doing honor roll assemblies and those sort of things. So again, we're trying to celebrate and provide happy opportunities to the extent that we can. So that's it for my report. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yep, thanks, Chuck. All right, and last but not least, Mr. C.D. Williams.
Here we go. You guys can hear me all right?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Just a few things. I know that we shared out last time that we did get 5th grade band started. We have about 36 kids that are going right now. It's been really awesome, and it's been really cool to see the two teachers work together to kind of help the kids get the right instruments. And I know parents have been really, really appreciative of that. So things are going really well with that. The kids are really excited about being in band, and we're excited to have them walking through the halls with their big instruments. We actually have a couple tubas, and so those are funny to watch, because of course it's the smallest kid that has the tuba. So it's pretty awesome. Other than that, we've been just trying to get ourselves ready to do some data-driven planning, and so with that, we've had to do a lot of testing. I know we've done all our core testing with Kim and Lisa, and they have done such an amazing job of just coordinating our paraeducators and getting that information done. They got our DIBELS testing done early. I've been working really hard with Joni Ashley as we have tackled the map testing and all its little nuances as we've kind of gone through that. And then today, we got the final touches done so that we could start SBAC testing tomorrow. And then we'll be ready to go. It's been really awesome. One of our new 3rd grade teachers, Lacey Treat, is coming from a MAP school district. And so she was able to kind of walk her team through. And so we had some really great conversations about where the 3rd grade as a whole kind of tested out as. And then we were able to kind of rethink our whole pacing guide and where kids were so that we could meet their needs rather than going through the motions and do the things that we always do. So those conversations have been really good. We've also been working really hard to get ready for the different grade levels to do walked intervention. So that, again, we're doing that whole inclusion model and getting kids involved. Our life skills kiddos have been just amazing and part of everyday activities with our kids. And we love, the kids have really rallied around those kids, and it's been great. Friday, we did have the ELD training also, along with the primary school. And it was really great to see, because one of the things that she brought up was something that we actually spent quite a few years kind of investing in, which was the Daily 5 kind of technique. And so I know my teachers were really reinvigorated in the fact that they would be able to use something that they feel very comfortable with to meet these new guidelines and standards. So that stuff was great. The character strong, the guy was amazing. And I think we built into our schedule a time at the beginning of the day where teachers have the time to do the character strong. And now that he was able to walk us through some of the techniques and resources that were available to us, it kind of all clicked on Friday. And so lots of great conversations, even over the weekend, through text, people saying, hey, so we can do this, right? So things are just starting to really come together. And we're really excited to get done with the testing stuff and get going on our school year and meeting the kids' needs. So that's kind of where we're at. We too are gonna start celebrating kids. We had the Bear Paw Awards that we used to do every 2 weeks. We'd like to get back to that now that we're kind of through some of the beginning of the year nuances. So those things will be coming quickly for us also. So other than that, do you guys have any questions? Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you, CD.
Thanks, CD.
Thanks, CD. Okay, I guess we'll move on to new business. We have minutes from the last meeting to approve. Anybody have any issues or changes, questions? Okay, well, I would entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the minutes from the September 27th meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right, passes unanimous. And next, our highly capable grant. We talked about it last week, but we need to do an approval for the grant, correct?
Yeah, thank you, Dale. Yeah, what we did is we saw the grant and we approved the plan. What I should have done though is had a separate line item for the grant itself. Because although we did approve the plan, quote unquote, we need to do a separate separate vote on the grant approval. And as I said at the time, it's virtually unchanged from the past year. So there's not a lot other than, I know there's some more information that we're going to be able to include given our stress on our focus on assessment data this year, some changes in some of the things that we're going to be able to do there. But other than that, the grant itself is virtually unchanged. So I simply bring it back before the board to ask for a separate vote to approve the grant itself.
Is there any questions, comments? Okay, once again, entertain a motion.
I will motion to approve the highly capable grant.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that passes unanimous also. That leaves us with the superintendent's report. Back to you.
Okay, well, thank you again, Dale. I appreciate it. Just kind of an update on some things that have been going on. Obviously, we've heard some great things that are happening in our buildings. And I can't speak highly enough with regards to the principals and what they're trying to accomplish this year. And really on a focus, trying to make things as normal as possible for kids and getting some of those activities back and in place that remind us why we're here in the first place, those of us that have chosen this profession, and they're doing a great job. From the superintendent end of things, though, as the board is aware, on a monthly basis, I attend a meeting of the Blue Mountain Small Schools Cooperative, which is the group of schools that are in like size to us, going from Benton City in the west as far east as College Place, with Findlay, Burbank, then up north, northeast to Clarkston. We were fortunate, we got to host in Benton City last week, the group from Blue Mountain Small Schools. So we had 9 superintendents who were in person, along with ESD staff, as well as 5 more who zoomed in, who were unable to make it due to prior commitments, but had a very nice about a 3.5-hour meeting with everybody, just going over many of the common issues that all the districts around the state are facing, and how some of our small schools here in the region are reacting and trying to be proactive with those types of items. From there, then I went to, on last Friday, while the staff were involved in ELD training and Character Strong, it was much more fun than I had. I was in 2 meetings on Friday. The first was at the ESD, and was a meeting that Bernardo helped to set up for Lance and myself and Bernardo and Mr. Campman, talking about the student threat assessments and the ongoing legislation as far as school districts and regions being required to be able to assess students who perhaps made threats or are potentially making threats towards others or towards the school, and the proper ways for us to respond as a district, and the mechanisms and the resources that are in place throughout the ESD to support us in those endeavors. From that meeting, then I went to a meeting at WCU Tri-Cities. As the board is aware, I'm fortunate enough to represent Benton City on the educational board that serves the Washington State Tri-Cities Department of Education. So I've been involved with that for 5 years now, and it really is a great opportunity to have a voice towards moving some college level practices and procedures to remind them, as especially our pre-service teachers and even some of our para-educators who are going through programs at WCU Tri-Cities, to remind them of what things are like in the trenches inside a district, and make some recommendations on what practices they can put in place, whether it's classroom practices or student teaching practices that'll help both their students and us in the long run as a district. Just a quick update. Every day that goes by, we see the number of staff who have requested exemptions or provided their vaccinations for COVID. You see that number dropping. So we're down to 12 employees who I'm still working with to get the proper documentation. And at this point, I do not see any issues having our entire staff top to bottom with either an approved exemption in place or a vaccine record in place by the 18th to meet the governor's mandate. Certainly it isn't something that they don't teach you that part of this job in superintendent school or anything like that. It's an unfortunate after effect of politics, but I am continuing to be amazed by the forethought and the efforts that our staff are going to make sure that they're compliant. And the district does really appreciate that. Along those same lines, I've begun some explorations with Mona, and I'll be discussing with building principals tomorrow during a brief principals meeting, the idea of hiring permanent substitutes for the school year, and exploring whether or not it would be in the district's best interest to go towards a model where we actually bring substitutes in and sign them to teacher contracts with the idea that at least for a few of our folks, we can guarantee that they'll be working every day. We know that we have a substitute shortage, and is there a way to entice more people into Benton City and into our schools if we were to offer them a one-year contract where they would, hopefully be able to know in advance where they're going for the next day. But if not, where they could literally show up to school as a regular contracted staff member and fill in as needed. I think one of the hardest parts about being a substitute is always the dread or the unknowing of, who is calling at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and where am I going and what do I need to prep for? And this would be a way where we could relieve some of that angst. So we're gonna be exploring some options along those lines. If you've been by the high school, especially if you've gone down Highland and looked to your left as you've gone east anyway, you can see that the paving project that we talked a lot about over the summer, that Mr. Adamson has given us updates about, and sometimes those updates were, gosh, is it ever going to get completed? If you take a look, it's come a long way just in the past 2 weeks. It's really looking nice. And quite frankly, Mr. Adamson firmly believes that it's going to be done by November 1st. So that's a great thing for us to have that finally accomplished. And again, I can't thank Representative Clippert, Deputy Clippert, any more than we already have for his continuing work in the legislature that's shown positive impacts here in Benton City and in Kaiby schools in particular. Finally, for our next meeting, I want to kind of piggyback on what some of our principals talked about. I've had a meeting with Joni Ashley, and she's been extremely successful with her assessment team, with the principals, with our counselors, about picking up students who were not here for the regular MAP testing dates, whether they missed a MAP day, they missed a Dibbles day, whatever they may have missed in the way of assessments, she's been trying to pick up her group. And at least tentatively, we're going to plan for our next board meeting on the 25th, which I'm very excited about, because this will be our first ever data presentation to the district with our academic information that we've gotten from the MAP. So we will be in communication with the board between now and then, because obviously this is a topic that we literally could go, quite a long time for. But I think that at this point we would be presenting our overall results, but then maybe talking to the board about whether or not they would also like to see a work session where we really could dive into a deeper level of the district data as well as building level, without it going late into the evening and keeping folks who have jobs. And I see a number that are on this call that of course are going to be teaching the next day. So it may be something we talk about, that we do a work session, depending on when the availability of the board members are, to go into a deep dive, but still have a public presentation and really give everyone who's been involved and everyone in our community a chance to see where our kids are at. And as important as that is to see where they're at, is then to develop plans and base our school improvement plan as a district and as buildings upon that data. So it really is truly it's momentous and a shift of gears from where we've been for the past 2 years. And it really feels like, again, with the help of the buildings and the teachers and the principals, like we really are starting to regain a focus on what we all got into business for, and that's for educating kids to the best of our ability. And it's all going to start with how they're doing and taking them from where they're at and where do we want to go from here. So very much looking forward to that. And like I said, this will be Joni's first attempt at looking at all of this data on a district scale. So I'll say tentative for the 25th and guaranteed by the first meeting in November that we'll have both an option for a work session and a public session at a meeting for that data review. So with that, I think I'd like to end it on a good note with that one, because that really is that's the work ahead of us. So I appreciate your time. And of course, as always, I'd entertain any questions you have.
No questions, just a really big thank you. I'm excited that we're implementing the MAP testing and just getting that data to help us help kids. So
Absolutely.
really exciting.
Oh, no other questions? All right, well, we'll end there then. Thank you very much for attending. Do we have an executive session? Couple things to talk about? No. Okay, so we'll call that adjournment. Thank you very much.